Today we are recording our episode on 28 years later. So if you haven't seen 28 days and 28 weeks and months, there's 28 months. And then there's like 28.
There's no 28 months.
And then there's 28 seconds.
No.
28 minutes.
No.
But this is 28 years. This is 28 years. Yeah.
Let's 28 years.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just like this intro.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes.
Little taste.
David, what is this?
It's pretty thick.
Great.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy. I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is backcountry.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, she's such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves.
Ew. Hoodie Picasso.
Horror.
Hello and welcome to a horror movie talk. I'm Sydney Lee and with me is just Bryce Hansen today. No, Max. Just me and Bryce. We are a silly, goofy, but very serious horror movie review show. New theatrical releases always get priority, but we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Full video available on YouTube. Don't be a square. Make sure to share. Also, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk. We have a lot of fun over there. And you can get this episode early, which I guess you are already listening to it, so it doesn't really matter. But you can get episodes early over there, which is really fun. And of course, if you want to add your P to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com or call 682-253-4468 and leave us a voicemail. We've got a great show today. We're reviewing 28 years later. Yay! We start out by giving a brief review. Yes, thank you. We'll start out by giving a brief review at our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later, we will be playing a game called Category Is Zombie That Walk, which is a game that I made where I'm going to show Bryce a clip of some zombies in a movie, and you're going to have to guess what movie they're from, what kind of zombies they are, which I think will be fun. So 28 years later is in theaters now, so I highly, highly recommend going to see it in theaters. So it picks up exactly where you think it will, 28 years after the initial rage virus outbreak in the UK. All these years later, the movie focuses on a small Scottish island off the coast of the quarantined mainland, where the only way to and from is a small causeway that disappears in high tide. This story follows Spike, a 12-year-old boy who takes his rite of passage by venturing to the mainland for the first time with his father to see the virus's impact for himself and hopefully kill a few zombies. Everything about this film was wholly unexpected for me. Danny Boyle takes us on a journey like no other. Having a child as the main character / focus in a horror movie is not a new plot device, but in this film, you really feel for Spike. You see everything in his perspective. You feel his fear, his guilt, his confusion. Everything that Spike is going through feels immensely personal to the viewer, and this is due to incredibly effective storytelling in Alex Garland's fantastic script and Boyle's dynamic storytelling. 28 Days Later was such an innovative and harrowing zombie movie, something unlike viewers in 2002 were used to seeing. Boyle shot it on low-quality camcorders for the most part and relied heavily on the script, practical effects, and just damn good acting. This film isn't much different. Although film as a medium has progressed in the last 23 years, 28 years later feels so new, so fresh, so unexpectedly radical. The cinematography had me speechless, breathless, on the edge of my seat throughout the entire runtime. It is a masterclass. This film made me feel things that a typical zombie movie does not make me particularly feel. Having the foundation of a good but almost played out antagonist, zombies, and building a house upon that with an exceedingly emotional and moving script, topped with out-of-this-world acting by Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, newcomer Alfie Williams, and of course Ralph Fiennes, makes this a perfect film. I'm already planning on going to see it again in theaters, and this is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it too. I was surprised with like the direction they went with some of it. It felt very fresh. I mean, in a world where we've had over a decade of The Walking Dead.
Like 700 years, we cannot escape The Walking Dead.
Like, so putting it in this, setting where it's, what will humanity be, after a long time? And maybe the monsters are ourselves. Like, it's such well-trodden stuff, even in zombie movies, but especially like in pop culture at this point. It really did feel kind of fresh in that they kept it relatively small in scope. It is a surprisingly intimate story surrounded around Spike and one community, and it didn't have that, like, it didn't have as much of a Mad Max vibe as I would have expected. Surprisingly emotional. I think if there's, I've seen some criticisms online, and it's a real mixed bag with what audiences are saying about the movie. And the one thing I could understand why people would, criticize it on is that it is a little, the tone shifts a couple times in the movie, and stylistically it shifts a little, and it just does a couple things, which is mostly I found really interesting and I found effective. It wasn't like whiplash or anything. It felt like it was all tied together and all was from Boyle's vision. And I will say, watching it did feel like some of the editing and directing felt very pulled from the early 2000s. Like there was like kind of a whiplash of style between the first 10-20 minutes where it was really Danny Boyle going back to the original style of 28 Days Later, which,
and like Train Spotting too. Like it reminded me of Train Spotting.
Is very like MTV Shutter cuts, like kind of schizophrenic, angle changes for intensity. And it's just something that I haven't seen for a while. And it just reminded me like, oh yeah, this is kind of the style of early 2000s. It doesn't do that through the whole film. Oh, thankfully, like that, it didn't stay.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I mean, I liked it. It was a good touch, and I think it's just a style choice, and I think like that's where people are going to criticize the movie. It's just the stylistic decisions of Danny Boyle, and I would rather have a unique voice and vision and have some like actual decisions made as opposed to
formulaic
putting forth.
Yeah.
So, I really liked it. I cried during it, which is like my touchstone for like, does this actually move me? Did this do something to me emotionally? Did I care about these characters? Which, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to call me a pussy because this is a horror movie.
I cried too. And before anyone says anything, I cried too. It's you really do care.
But to say that that's like a rubric that I measure against for horror movies, I mean, yeah. But I mean, I think in storytelling, it's important to have stakes.
Did you cry during Sleepover Massacre or whatever? Slumber Party Massacre?
Cried that those perfect tits were destroyed by that drill. No, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of struggling on how to score it because I really, really liked it, but there was a couple things that like keep it from 10 out of 10 for me, but not enough for me to really care. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. It's really really good. I was impressed with it. The performances were great. The script is really good. And I think it was a surprisingly unique take on the post-apocalyptic zombie genre. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know that they've got 2 sequels planned.
They filmed the Bone Temple immediately after this. So that's
Yes.
coming out next year. That's already done.
Yeah, that's coming out in like January. So it's
6 months.
directed by Nia DaCosta, which did the Candyman remake and The Marvels. Both of which, actually, I didn't see The Marvels. The Candyman remake.
Was that good? I didn't see that.
It was okay. Yeah, it was a little weird for me. But it was good. So I don't know. I didn't feel like I was blown away by it. So it'll be interesting to see what the Bone Temple will be. Is it Bone Temple?
Yeah. Which is a
will be
crazy, like
the third movie that they have planned. I'm not sure if Danny Boyle's going to direct it. But it's not quite greenlit yet, but I'm assuming after this weekend, and you know, they might greenlight it because it's doing really well in the box office. It made what, 30 million?
oh
this
shit
weekend?
already?
Yeah, off of, I think the budget was only like 60 million.
That's pretty good.
So it's pretty good. I think How to Train Your Dragon still beat it out in the weekend, but like it's going to do good. So they'll probably greenlight it. But anyways, yeah, this movie's really good. I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too.
Definitely go see it. It's I don't think I have to convince a lot of people on here that you need to see it. I watched 28 Weeks Later yesterday. And I realized like I've never actually watched it. I had
Really?
I'd only watched the original, and it's way better than 28 Weeks Later.
Like the thing is like 28 days and 28 years like are the same Alex Garland and Danny Boyle, and then 28 weeks. I don't think either of them, right? I don't.
Yeah, it wasn't directed. I think they were executive producers on it.
Yeah.
Alex Garland probably had a hand in the story and script, but I don't think he was like the main writer on it.
I think I've seen 28 weeks more than 28 days. I don't know why.
Really?
I think 28 weeks is, yeah, I definitely have, because I think 28 days is one of those movies where I'm like, I'm going to sit down and watch this because this is like a really good movie. And 28 weeks is one of those movies where in college I'd be like, do you guys want to just throw something on like while we hang out? So it's one of those, which I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's more of a like 28 Days is more of a movie that you want to focus on and sit down and it's really like, it's really good. Like it's really excellent. And 28 Weeks is more like, all right, let's get some action going. Like, and this is tonally similar to 28 Days more than 28 weeks. But this is my favorite horror movie of 2025 so far. This is, I think,
we keep saying that there's been a couple bangers that have come out. Like
I think Sinners was the last time I said that. And I gave Sinners a 9 out of 10, so I gave this a higher score. Because Sinners is just really long. But this is which is like a stupid complaint, but I think it's valid in the realm of like horror movies. Because I don't know, like you can make a tight, this is hour 40-ish. This is tight. This is effective. Like I was never like, oh, I want to check my phone to see what time it is. Like during this movie, during Sinners, like not saying that I did check my phone because I didn't, but I was just like, wow, this is a long movie. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite one of the year so far. I really like it.
I think the ones we've said it about, Bring Her Back was probably the most recent one. I think me and Max really like that one. And Final Destination Bloodlines was surprisingly good.
That was really good.
Yeah, I think Sinners, Final Destination, Bring Her Back, and this one are probably the best of the year so far.
Well, you guys are just gonna have to stick around for when we do all of our rankings at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot more.
I'm looking back at the other ones. There's a lot of people say Companion is kind of their best of the year.
Why?
I thought it was pretty good. It was fun.
It was fine. It was fine, but it's not like movie of the year. You have
what
to
about
be
Wolfman?
I was thinking about that.
Remember Wolfman?
I was thinking about that movie when I went to go see this. When I walked out, I was like, people make movies like 28 years later, and then people make movies like Wolfman. And it's like, how is there, how do those both get greenlit? Like, how, like, in the world? God, that was so bad.
Yeah.
That was a really bad movie. All right. Should we get into spoilers soon?
Let's get into it.
But before that, there are commercials you have to listen to. Dun, dun, dun. If you're listening to these, you know that you don't have to. You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk. We have a lot of fun over there. We're trying to get to 100 patrons, 100 paid patrons. Paying patrons. We have
You're welcome to join at the free tier.
Yes. We love it. We're happy. We like seeing your support. But if we get 100 paid patrons, we will try to get rid of ads. So isn't that enticing? We also have our shop at horrormovietalk.com. Sweatshirts, stickers, shirts. A lot of fun over there. Sweatshirt, so comfy. I love that sweatshirt so much. And of course, we have Dustin Goebel, our resident artist. Check him out on Instagram. He takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans. So contact him at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram and make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him that we sent you. And once again, our voicemail line is 682-253-4468. Thanks for listening. Let's get into spoilers. Okay, I took your advice. I didn't take notes during the movie, but I took your advice. When I got in my car, I immediately wrote down all the beats. So I got them in chronological order. But it's not super detailed, but we remember. Yeah. When did you see this? I saw this on Friday.
I think we saw it at the exact same time, actually. I think I
was getting out when you were.
Yeah, it was probably like 40 minutes. You were probably 40 minutes into it when I sat down for like the ads.
You said that the theater was like packed on a Friday, and that's because like How to Train Your Dragon was coming out. But my like actual theater, like there were like 4 people in my row. It was great. Like I think it's because I went at 6 p.m. Like I just zoomed there after work and wanted to like, kind of bang it out and not be at the theater till like 10 o'clock. But the later showings had a lot more people. But it was so nice because it's usually so busy.
I went at like 4:15, and it wasn't packed, but it was probably, like 30 people in it, which for my theater on horror new releases is pretty decent. Like usually I'll see it on like a Thursday night and it'll be like a dozen people in there, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while since I've gone on Friday, and it was noticeably different. I mean, there was like 4 concession people working, which is never the case. It's always like
there's one
girl or like kind of one person hanging back, and then like, oh, I guess I'll open this till, and I'm the only person there. So it was, but yeah, I think everyone was going to see How to Train Your Dragon, which David said is really good. So,
well, I like the original. So
yeah.
All right. So I know I don't really want to skip to the end, but I do like the way that this movie bookends the
right
front and the back. Like it like we have, the day of the infection outbreak, and it starts with the Teletubbies. Oh my God. I haven't fucking heard the Teletubbies voices since probably 2002. Like, I was like, holy shit. So the Teletubbies, there's a bunch of kids very scared, watching the TV. You hear like kind of zombie noises outside, and there's like the door opens and there's a mom saying like, stay in here, and like throws another kid in there. And then you find out it's the day of the infection outbreak, and zombies are running amok and they kill all the kids.
Was it the day of the infection? I thought it was like 14 days.
Oh,
later.
Was it? Okay.
It was earlier than
I didn't
28
know.
days later.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I think it was like at the infection. Or maybe, I mean, I watched 28 weeks later, so I might be confusing it with that. But it
was around the time that the infection started in the UK. Like, and this was in Scotland. All of this is in Scotland. And this little kid ends up escaping, and he goes to his dad, who's a priest, and his dad is crazy, and he goes, "This is the day of reckoning. I am gonna get eaten by the zombies, and it's God's will." And the kid's like, "What the fuck?" And the dad gets killed by the zombies while the kid like hides in a pew. And then it goes 28 years.
I think he was like hiding in a crypt or something.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, this poor child.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. This little toe-headed Scottish kid watching his parents get torn apart by zombies. It's very reminiscent of, the earlier movies. So like, and if you're looking for the tone of the first two, it's definitely in this opening prologue.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, this feels exactly like the other two movies. Like, holy shit. Like that's a good thing. And then you get like the 28 years later, the entire movie. Not the entire movie, but probably like halfway through, I was like, wait, is Aaron Taylor Johnson that kid? Or who the fuck is the kid in the beginning? Like, I like had a moment where I was like, wait, he's not that kid. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the prologue is bookended with the ending, which some people have a problem with because it is a pretty big tonal shift. the epilogue.
So I saw it and I read a bunch of stuff about this. I read people's reviews and whatever. Like, after I wrote my review, I was like, I want to see what other people are saying. Letterboxd has pretty good reviews. People are really liking it on Letterboxd, which I was surprised and happy about. But I was reading something and I agree with this. The end is kind of like Danny Boyle and Alex Garland going, "Oh, you wanted like just crazy ninja people fighting these zombies the whole time, like every other zombie movie? Here, we'll give it to you. Here, do you want this? Do you want this slop, little piggies?" Like, that's how I took it. And I was like, this is great. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what they were doing. I think it was they were having fun. I mean, that feels like a very, sure. And it's also like a pretty early 2000s thing.
Yeah.
Like it's the opening prologue and, a couple parts sprinkled throughout has that kind of quick cut, frenetic editing style. And the ending, the epilogue, is very like early 2000s, late 90s coded. It's, I mean, we can spoil it or whatever, because it's like, because it's like teased throughout the film that there's some gang or something, because it shows
you see Jimmy.
You see Jimmy, the name Jimmy being written about on graffiti. You are seeing a zombie that's hung upside down with Jimmy carved into its chest.
They didn't address that when the zombie's hanging upside down. It just says Jimmy on the back. Like, neither Aaron Taylor Johnson and Alfie Williams did not say anything about the Jimmy. And I was like, Can someone tell me like who the fuck Jimmy is? Like, do they know who Jimmy is? Like,
right. And so yeah, and then I didn't catch the kid's name at the beginning, but the kid's name was Jimmy. And so
I didn't either.
The epilogue, we see Jimmy, and he's got a gang in Adidas tracksuits, like a fucking Ninja Turtles or whatever. And they're, for people in the UK, it's they're basically dressed as Jimmy Savile, which is
I had to look this up.
Yeah, so he's a
sexual predator.
He's a very big sexual predator, but this, in the timeline of 28 Days Later, it was pre the revelation of how that Jimmy Savile was a monster. I think it's Jimmy Savile, right?
Yeah, no, I'm on an article right now. You're right.
And yeah, but he was like the children, kind of like a pop culture character. He was like pop music kind of video, a VJ kind of thing. And had a show where he he was basically like a early 2000s, late 90s Mr. Beast on the BBC. He just like did stuff where he helped out people and gave to like charities and stuff.
And then it came out after
his vast wealth.
Yeah, after he died, he abused hundreds of men, women, and children. Like everyone was getting sexually abused and blackmailed and all that shit. So
yeah, there's a documentary. I think it's on Netflix. It's pretty insane, like what he got away with. But anyways, they're all dressed up like Jimmy Savile.
They look fucking ridiculous.
There was like a meme where it was like, this is the ending of 28 Years Later, and it was just a clip from the Power Rangers, and it was like, yeah, it does kind of feel like that. Very Power Rangers. Like,
I love that.
But yeah, it's a good book, and like I get it why people would be like, what the fuck was that? But really,
I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Jimmy Savile was until I looked it up after, but I thought like with the whole movie, like just being so good, and then them, like, I mean, they had to tie in the prologue. If you make a prologue like that and you have no idea what's going on, like you got to tie it in at some point. I love that they bookended it. That is a complete film to me. And like, it was just, Jack O'Connell popped out like that. I started cracking up. Like, it was so funny, and of a movie with no levity at all. Like it is so sad. It's so like harrowing. It's so dreadful for most of the movie, or if not the whole thing. And then you just get this moment where like these guys are doing fucking backflips and just like putting like what are they, javelin fucking things, and just like it's hilarious.
They're using spears. I was so pumped.
Spears,
like yay, spears! Of course,
they were spears.
They're using like long cudgels and
so
spears,
funny.
and there's something else.
Do you want me to help you, kid? Tell me you want me to help you.
I mean, in from my perspective, like it's one of those things where if a movie's good, it can earn a crazy ending. Yeah. And for me, like I was bought in, I was enjoying the movie, so they could go anywhere with the ending. And in the ending, it's like what it was setting up is Spike leaves the community and he goes out on his own and he wants to see the wider world. And so that's the thing that people are like, well, what else is going on that's not on this little island? And that's where, like, yeah, you're going to see the crazy shit. You're going to see the Walking Dead, Mad Max kind of stuff. And this was, on the extreme end of that in terms of campiness. But it was fun. I was like, yeah, this is great. I didn't have any problem with it.
No, me neither.
Because it was teased enough, and it was like, yeah, it was, whatever. So it was good. But yeah, that's the bookends of it. But the majority of it,
yeah, it earned that ending. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's like it's the Jaws, theory where it's like if you've built up an tension and you've like, earned the story and the characters and the stakes, like you can blow up a fucking shark. Like it's dumb. It's like you just blow up the shark.
Perfect.
You know, like
Exactly.
if you're gonna watch like Sharknado and they like blew up a shark, you're like, that's so dumb.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
did that 200 times already. Like,
yeah, it's like, okay. I mean, of course they're gonna blow up. It's the cheapest ending, but it's like, no, it's also the cheapest ending, but you love it when it's Jaws. You know, it's because it's earned. So that's how I view the ending on this one.
it works. It works. And if people are confused by it, then you need to watch more movies. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm sure there are people who are going to comment on this who didn't like it, but you know, we'll see. I welcome
Well,
it.
I think it's also, the whole movie is basically a coming of age movie. It's literally like
It's through his perspective, like Spike's perspective the whole time. Like, yeah.
And so it's the same. It's also kind of a hero's journey thing where at the end he can't really go back. He's changed and he's come of age and he's off on his own now. And so that's like what that ending is. That's the more important part of the ending, which is he's going off to new adventures, not just going back and sitting at home and being happy with, you know.
Yeah,
the
that would have
status quo.
never worked. That would have never worked. But yeah, let's run down like the beats. So we 28 years after the prologue, we're on a small Scottish island, and we find out that it's like Spike's day to I don't know, become a man or whatever. It's like his bar mitzvah, and you have to go. Your bar mitzvah is that you go to the mainland and you kill zombies.
Yeah.
To kind of
Zombie
see
bar mitzvah, spooky, scary.
it's kind of like I guess it's kind of showing like what the mainland looks like to a kid, and showing how to deal with the zombies and stuff like that. I mean, it's a little like this island is a little culty. They have like a little like culty thing going on. You get some images of some weird stuff, and like obviously everyone knows each other and stuff. And during this whole thing where you were talking about the editing is very 2000s and whatever, yeah, we have a lot of freeze frames, which I like. I think they're effective. And then we have that like montage of like military video, old timey, like, you know, like it looks like Monty Python like stuff. And then we have like, you know, World War II and stuff, and it's all military, and you have that scary song. I don't know what song that is, but it's so scary.
They used it in the trailer.
Yeah, it's a trailer
and the
song.
teaser. It's like this Rudyard Kipling poem that was about the Boer War. There's a couple like military references that are very UK specific. In this movie, and it's not. I think there's a little bit of like World War II, but actually, like it has what you're talking about. The Monty Python stuff is. I think it's a reference to the Battle of Agincourt, which is like one of the biggest historical wins. And the point of it is that they're using bows and arrows, you know, on this on this island. Like it's kind of medieval weaponry.
They wouldn't have access to guns. Like that's the whole thing. They don't have phones. They don't have internet. They don't have like it's like 2002 there, or even earlier.
Well, it's like 2025 in the UK. You know, there's no access to guns. They've just got kitchen knives, and thinking about outlawing that
all the time.
But no, so like they, like a very large part of this is their weapons are bows and arrows that are self-crafted.
Which is fucking sick, by the way, which is awesome. I don't want guns all the time in a horror movie. Like, let's get inventive with it. Let's do a we need to talk about Kevin moment. Like, let's do some most.
Let's put these zombies in a basketball court.
Which I think Aaron Taylor Johnson would do that. He's crazy. That is a crazy man.
So let me do an aside on the Battle of Agincourt. This is very important.
Please, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So the Battle of Agincourt was like a really important battle between Britain and France, and a large part of the victory came from the British longbow. the British longbow was like technologically like a step up from what people were using. But in terms of strategy, there's, what was that Timothy Chalamet movie, The King?
The King.
The ending of that was the Battle of Agincourt.
Oh, okay.
It was basically like,
how to teach me about history is to talk about Timothy
yeah. So
Chalamet.
the English were like way outnumbered, like by like over 10-1, I think it was. But the way they positioned themselves on the battlefield, they put, so there was like trees lined on each side, and then the battle was in this field that was really muddy. And so the English like put their infantry, you know, at one end, and then they flanked them with like their longbowmen, and then the French had to come march at them through this really muddy area, and the bows just decimated the French. And
I
then
remember
once
this in the movie.
yeah, once they got to the line, they were so like gummed up and hacked like sardines that they couldn't even use their weapons effectively. So it was like a huge massacre for the French. And it was like historically one of the most impressive, like one-sided wins, you know.
The more you know.
So yeah, like intersperses like, you know, references to the English longbow, references to, you know, I mean, the poem is from the Boer War. There's definitely reference to World War II, where it's like, you know, the austerity measures and, you know, keep calm and carry on kind of attitude. And yeah, it's done through that early 2000s kind of like montage style, which was a little like, it felt like the trailer, you know, it felt like,
I liked it. I think it worked. It's like all of these images are super cut with Spike and his dad walking the causeway to the mainland.
Yeah.
So it's like they're walking into battle, and I do like all of like the military stuff in this movie, because it's kind of an anti-military movie in like a, you know, they don't really explore it super well, but when we get later on and see more of the military guys, and the one who ends up being one of like the characters who joins the group, like they're kind of like just schlubby little dumbasses. Like that's kind of what they're set up to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little like, really? Like,
yeah.
You think like an actual professional like squad of people armed to the teeth with machine guns is gonna be less effective than two guys with a bow and arrow? Like, sure, but I mean,
but Aaron Taylor Johnson is crazy. You fail to remember that he is unwell. He's an unwell man.
Yeah. So I mean, just to set up more, like it's a coming of age story, and like this is definitely like the part where he's what's his name? Spike is turning 12, which is a little early for their bar mitzvah, but he's basically turning old enough to start contribute to the society. That's the whole deal, where it's like, yeah, everyone contributes to this little village, and
they have set jobs. That we have like a shot where everyone has their set jobs, and like,
yeah.
And also he has a mother, and she is, we don't know what's going on with her, but she is kind of crazy.
She's unwell.
She's unwell. She's you know, not making a lot of sense. She's in bed all the time, and there's a lot of distance between her and the dad. But Spike loves his mom. But she is very confused most of the time. She really doesn't know. But Spike is very grounding for her, is what we have established. Because like she'll go into these fits of like quote unquote psychosis, and then he'll be like, "It's me, I'm Spike, it's me," and she'll be like, "Oh, Spike."
Yeah, early on, I was wondering if they're like, because some of the themes in the movie is kind of the evolution of the virus, the evolution of stuff, and so it's like in any zombie movie, when someone's sick, you're like, are they going to turn? Like, what's going on here?
You
Is
know,
this
that's
like some
interesting.
kind of presentation?
I didn't even think of that. That's funny. I'm stupid. I didn't think of that. I was just like, this poor lady.
Yeah. So yeah, the mom is sick. She's got migraines, kind of deal, and she doesn't seem to be, 100% cognitive ability. So yeah, they go out, Spike and his dad, and they go on a run. It's not super clear what the intention of it is because they barely
don't explain it.
Scavenge.
Well, he just needs to kill a zombie is what I gathered.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is just him going to kill a zombie, like see how they behave, because he's obviously never seen one, because they have the island is locked up. Like like you can't get on there unless it's low tide, and you have to walk like a mile.
Yeah.
So they encountered the fat ones, as they say, which are zombies that just crawl on the ground and eat everything, I guess. And they encountered those first. And this is like, this whole sequence of the first time they go to the mainland is really scary. Like and Aaron Taylor Johnson is treating it like a video game. Like he's like having the time of his life, even though there's like 10 fucking zombies chasing them at one point, and Spike is terrified. And so you feel, it's in his perspective. So you feel how scared he is. But like Aaron Taylor Johnson is so chill the whole time. And it's like, it's cuckoo to me. Like I was like, you could die right now. Like,
well, he kind of panics at the end, like when they're the house and he runs out of arrows, and there's like two getting up the stairs, rounding the corner towards him.
And when they go back, that's pretty scary too.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, like, Spike does get his first kill, which is one of the ones that crawls on the ground, and we have some fake outs and stuff. But I think the zombie design is incredible. I think they all look great. Like the different kinds of zombies is really cool too.
Yeah, they have two different, well, I guess three kind of different zombies. So there's the slow ones. I think they're a little more diplomatic than just saying the fat ones.
Someone definitely said the fat ones at some point.
But yeah, they're like these obese crawling zombies.
They're like gray.
And like just like they look like, corpses that have been in the water for a couple weeks.
Ugh.
And they're crawling on the ground, and they just like forage. Like we're showing them just eating a bunch of worms, really. They're worm zombies, really. And then there's the fast zombies, which I think in 28 days and weeks later, they had said that the zombies would eventually just starve and die. But I guess they evolved to the point where there were zombies that hunted.
Well, there's still people on the mainland, so they could still eat people and animals, I guess,
I mean, 28 years. I mean, they didn't see any other living. I guess they saw one other living person, but like, it's not like.
Well, the end, there's like 6 people.
Sure. But I think the point I'm trying to make is it's not heavily populated anymore.
Yeah. Yes.
So
there's like a little crew of zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. So the zombies are hunting, and we're shown that they like ate deer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so basically it goes into,
and then there's the
zombies
alpha.
evolved. Yeah, the zombies evolved into hunters and foragers, and then a third type of zombie is the alpha, which
got a big cock,
giant cock.
Like there's so much dick.
Yeah. That's why I picked my background. There's so much cock in this movie. It's flopping around. But
there was a Letterboxd review said this should have been called 28 inches later.
Yeah. The alpha, like, you understand why he's the alpha. But I think it's kind of implied that the alpha is an offspring, right? Is that?
I don't know, but all I know is that they're alpha. What Aaron Taylor Johnson says is the alphas are smarter and faster and stronger, and one arrow is not going to kill them. Like
Right.
that's all. That's most of the what you get from them as explanation. But I don't know if it's an offspring. I thought like the first offspring was when we saw.
Yeah, because
Ray Fiennes was like, "Whoa!" I was wondering when that was going to happen, when the baby comes.
Yeah, maybe it's not an offspring because, I don't know. It's got the rage eyes, but its physique is like it doesn't look. I guess they're not technically zombies in this franchise. They're living people with a virus. But that being said, like most of them look like zombies in terms that they're like kind of chewed up.
The alpha's like
fucked up.
He's like almost like invincible, and like he can like open doors and shit. Like he like knows what's up. He's like he registers things. Like you can see him register things. Like when his baby mama got killed, he registered that. Like
it's intelligent, and the others follow it. Basically, it calls the shots for the zombies.
Alpha.
And he's got a huge cock. Like
it's so big.
It's like this alpha is going around half chubbed at all times. Like if not, that's
just
terrifying.
Hanging dong, dude. It's crazy.
So a bit of trivia. I don't know if you learned this, but
I didn't look anything up. Is it real?
All of the cock is fake. Like all of its prosthetics.
That's so fucked up.
Because Alfie, whatever his name is.
Oh, he's a child. Yeah,
he's an actual child. Alfie Williams is 12 years old when he filmed this. So
so
it would be highly illegal to have 20 men with dongs helicoptering after this kid. So Danny Boyle would be thrown into prison. So they had to cover everything with prosthetics, which is funny because they're photorealistic.
They look
cocks.
real. Yeah. I mean, they're uncut. They're like, they're chilling. Like,
So, I'm not sure they protected him too much. I'm not sure if that was a comfort to him,
I mean, I would just be like, all right, I guess I'm just not going to look. But yeah, so to kind of pivot. So they get when Aaron Taylor Johnson and what is his name? I don't know his name. The dad.
Oh, the dad?
The dad. Like
it is.
I don't remember if he even has a name.
Jamie.
Okay, so Jamie and very close to Jimmy. That's funny.
Uh-huh.
So we have Jamie and Spike, and they end up getting chased by zombies because the alpha catches them at one point, or like sees them, and they get chased. They end up missing the window to go back to the mainland. And there's a big chase when the alpha actually catches up to them because they kill a lot of zombies. Mm-hmm. They run out of arrows. Then they wake up in the house that they're staying in overnight, like is about to collapse or something because it's old, and then they have to like run for their fucking lives when the alpha's chasing them because the alpha starts running down the causeway and it's it's almost low tide, but they're still in the water, and it's
like it's Shanghai.
Yeah, it's like really intense. It's a really intense chase scene, but they do make it back without the alpha being able to come in, and Spike is like traumatized, rightfully so. He just spent like 12 plus hours just like being scared for his life. And there was like a big party, a welcome back party for him. And his dad his bar mitzvah. Yeah. His bar mitzvah party. And everyone is so excited and happy. And you can just like the way that this is shot and edited, like you can just feel that Spike is like, what the fuck is going on? Like I just had the worst day I've ever had in my entire life. Like my whole brain is changed after that day. And my dad is just like shit-faced, and everyone's just like happy for me. And his dad's lying about like how many zombies Spike killed. Like he only killed like 2, and he's saying he killed all of them. And he's just like so confused. And then his dad runs off with a woman, and Spike catches him, and there's the whole thing. And
he catches his dad eating box.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah. yeah, I mean, his dad was risen him up in the party, and yeah, it feels like
Risen him up.
this is the kind of the interesting part and kind of the development, the world building of this little village. That yeah, there's rituals. It feels very pubby in terms of like, yeah, they're embellishing the story to make it better because
Right, of course.
everyone wants to have fun. Everyone wants to like have a good story and have a story told about them. And it's kind of a really good demonstration of the culture of this little island.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spike is disenfranchised by this. He's like, this is a lie. Like, why are you lying about this? And he doesn't feel
right,
authentic or whatever. It's not pumping him up. He's like, well, wait a minute. If this is a lie, what else is a lie? Kind of thing. And it's
and then he catches his dad, so it's like it all wraps in. And also when they were on the island, he saw a fire, and he was like, "Dad, what is that?" And he was like, his dad's like, "I don't know," very dismissive of it. And then he asks this other guy who was looking after the mom while they were gone, and he was like, "Oh, he's a doctor. He was my general practitioner." And he's like, "What's a general practitioner?" He's like, "Oh, he's a doctor." And Spike's like, "Ding, ding, ding, light bulb moment. We need to take my mom to the doctor because there hasn't been a doctor on this island forever." Because obviously, like, who's going to medical school? Like, they're not. Like, it's a tiny island. So he's like, "Dad, I need to take her to the doctor." And his dad's like, "No, shut the fuck up." And his dad comes home in the morning, and this was the first time I cried. Was this scene when his dad comes home in the morning? I cried a little bit because it was really sad. Because he, says something about that woman that he saw his dad with, and his dad gets obviously really angry that he got caught, and he hits him, and then he apologizes immediately, and Spike goes upstairs with the mom, and he pulls out a knife and he threatens his dad. He's like, "Get the fuck away from us." And I was like, "Oh, it's so sad."
Yeah.
Really intense.
I mean, it's a loss of trust with his father. Like, he finds out that his father's been lying to him. And the big thing is like, yeah, there's a doctor that exists that could save his mom, and no one told him. And so, and
he's like, "Do you want mom to die so you can be with Rose or whatever?"
Right.
And he's like, "What? Fuck you, kid." But
yeah,
it's probably true.
So yeah, that's the impetus for the next, part of the movie, which is Spike takes his mom off island to go search for this doctor. I love that when his dad is describing the doctor, he's like, "Yeah, I saw him once, but the guy is insane." And he describes how the doctor was lining up like hundreds of dead bodies on the grass and was like having this funeral pyre. And he's like, "This guy's insane." And then it shows like the flashback clip, and it's just the doctor like waving friendly,
just
and being like, "Come on down." Like, and
he's like, "Are you crazy? He was gonna kill me." And it's like, "No, I think he's just being nice."
Yeah, he was just being nice. And they freaked out and ran away.
Well, it just shows that like Jamie's character is someone who does not have a lot of critical thinking skills. He's not very smart. He kind of just acts on it.
He's a lad. It's
a lot of toxic masculinity. Like there's a commentary there about that. And I, that's it. That's all I have to say about it. But yeah, he kidnaps his poor mother, and then his mom, once she realizes they're on the mainland, she's like, "Fuck no, why did you take me here? We're gonna die."
Yeah, so his mom has like little flashes of lucidity, so it's obvious something's wrong with her, going on with her brain. And yeah, she has flashes of lucidity in like realizing that they're off the island and that they're in danger. And then later it's revealed that she protects Spike from being eaten by a zombie
that was
by
nuts.
smashing its head in.
I was not expecting that. I was like, hell yeah, Jodie Comer. Let's go.
But the majority of it, she's like suffering from dementia and like not quite sure where she is, not quite sure who Spike is. She thinks it might be her dad.
So sad.
Yeah. Which is, yeah. So, I mean, a lot of this is kind of, you can have a criticism of a lot of this midpoint in the movie where it's very convenient that they don't run into zombies at certain times when they're most vulnerable.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like what you said, like it's been 28 years, like there's not a lot of zombies left. It's kind of only this Alpha's pack that they wiped out like 5 or 6 of them, like
True.
the last time they went, which was like the day before.
Yeah.
And there's like one slow one that's still left that they didn't kill. Like the dad didn't kill like the baby one. And so that's the slow one that catches up to them. So so she kills that one. And then eventually they do get chased and they find a gas station, which it was a shell, but the S was gone. So it said hell. Did you catch that?
I didn't catch that.
Did you catch that? Movie magic. But they go into the gas station to hide from the zombies, but there's like this blue, like haze in there, and they're like choking. So it's like a gasoline buildup, and it's all crazy. And then like there's a soldier that finds them, and he like shoots into the gas station. How did they not die when the gas station blew up?
Yeah, that's
was
not
like,
how
wait.
like a gas leak would work. They would probably die. But yeah, so we're briefly introduced to like
to Eric.
these soldiers that very quickly got murdered by zombies, but there was one survivor, and
that's this little asshole named Eric.
Yeah, so we found out that some of the world building that they see when Spike first goes out is like they see a boat that's like what's it called? Just making sure the quarantine is in effect, that no one's like escaping the island.
Yeah, there's different militaries
there's patrols
from all over the world.
Yeah, there's patrols happening, and the explanation of why these soldiers are on the mainland is that one of these patrols got in a wreck. They got in a life raft, and it blew to the mainland. And we find out that once you're on the mainland, you're not ever going to come off of it again because it's completely quarantined. So this Eric guy, he's from Sweden. And yeah, it does. Another half of the world building is just like, oh, the rest of the world is completely normal.
Yeah.
It's
like,
just the UK.
Yeah, so he's talking about his life. He's like a delivery driver. His friend's a delivery driver, and he goes, "What?" Like Spike doesn't know what that is. Spike, he pulls out his cell phone, his iPhone, and Spike's like, "What the fuck is that?" And he shows. This was so funny. He shows a picture of his.
This is the one laugh in the entire movie.
Like literally the one laugh. He shows a picture, and he's like, "Oh, this is my fiance. Well, my ex-fiance," and it's just a woman that has some lip filler and some cheek filler and just an Instagram face woman. You know exactly what we're talking about. And he just goes, "What's wrong with her face?" And Eric's like, "What the fuck? She's beautiful. She's gorgeous." And he's like, "No, there's a girl on the island that happens to when she eats shellfish. Her face blows up."
It was great.
And Eric goes, "Well, whatever."
Yeah.
Real good. Real good.
Or are we talking about this on the Slumber Party Massacre? Just Instagram face?
I don't know.
And like beauty standards?
Maybe.
I don't know. We're, masochist. What's it called? Chauvinist. We're a chauvinist podcast. So we were talking about women's appearances.
You know how it is.
But
this
yeah,
movie talks about the women's appearances. We're just telling you guys.
I love it that that is such a great commentary that if you were on a normal, vein of reality where it's like, yeah, you don't have
they don't have makeup. They don't have makeup on this island. Like
or plastic surgery. If you saw that face for the first time, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with that lady?
Yeah, like she has
'Cause
eyelash
it does not
extensions.
look normal.
She's a full beat on. Like it's crazy. Like you'd be like, wait, what the fuck is that? Like it's like showing someone from like 1750, like that picture. Like it's
Right.
like the same thing. It's like, what's going on there? Like,
Yeah.
So then we're like, we see the zombies like playing in the water.
Yeah.
And there's a pregnant one, and you're like, what? You're like, that's disgusting.
Which is kind of interesting because it's, the fact that these people, these infected, survived would mean that they have to have some form of like survival, tactic. And I like that they're shown in the water kind of shittily cleaning themselves. It's like,
you don't really know what's going on.
They
but
got to have some kind of hygiene or
they're
whatever.
kind of just like splash.
Yeah.
And
the alpha's around them. But yeah, the major thing is that one is pregnant, and then eventually, it's like Chekhov's gun. Like the
Jodie Comer
pregnant
has
one.
like a moment of clarity, and she listens to the sounds of the zombies, follows it into like this abandoned train, and she helps this zombie give birth. Like it's a very emotional moment. And then right after that happens, the zombie, goes to eat her, and then Eric kills her with his gun. And then the alpha finds them and kills Eric. Woo!
Yeah. The alpha is actually just straight from Mortal Kombat because he just rips out the spines.
It's like it's like Predator. Like it was really when that happened, I was like, whew. And then they carry him around like all day, and I'm like, oh my god! When they get to Ralph Fiennes, he's been carrying his motherfucking head around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the spine. It's gross.
I'm a little skeptical whether you can actually do that. Can you actually rip someone's head off with the spine intact?
Are you an alpha?
I'm not. Can only do that if you're alpha. I feel like the head would just pop off.
I mean,
like,
he's got.
Isn't there like
method.
a weak point on the spine?
I don't know. He did it with the deer too.
The spine would be connected to like the rib cage and like all the muscles. And...
Well, Predator does it.
Okay.
You got to be really strong.
Well, all right. Well, fair point. If Predator does it, then it's a reality.
It's real.
So yeah, the main, like the heart of the movie is them eventually making it to the doctor, played by Ralph Fiennes.
Beautiful
Dr. Kelson.
performance. Beautiful
I
performance.
completely forgot that Ralph Fiennes was in this.
I didn't know.
Which was a pleasant surprise. I went back through some of the trailers, and I think it's just been a long time since I've watched one of the trailers. But he is in the trailer for it.
But he looks scary in the trailers, and he's not scary in the movie. He's very nice. He's a very, very pleasant, loving, emotional man covering himself in iodine. That's why he's orange, and it helps with the infection. And so he has this whole like structure, and they ask like, what is that? And he was like, I thought I was going to die before another living person asked me what this is. And he goes, do you know what memento mori means? And he explains memento mori, and it's just it's a boneyard. It's like an art piece. It's a cemetery that he's created with all the bones of all the dead people he's found. And he's like, yeah, they're infected and non-infected alike. They were all people at one point. And it's really beautiful and just so sad. And then he checks out the mom, like they give him the baby's fine. And he checks out the mom, and it's revealed that the mom has cancer, and then you start crying right then. And then like I could not contain. I was bawling my eyes. I wasn't just crying. I was sniffling and hyperventilating. Like this is so emotional, so beautiful, so sad. And then like the mom chooses, like she's gonna die soon. Like that's his professional, he's like, I can't do a biopsy, but she's gonna die. And it's Spike is obviously very upset, so they sedate him. They shoot him with morphine. And he holds the baby, and Ralph Fiennes and Jodie Comer go out into the woods, and he kills her. he puts her down gently, and you don't see
and then
it.
boils her body as one does, and brings back a clean skull.
But it's
clean
so
skull
sad. But it's like watching Spike put the skull on the top of the tower, and just like, and seeing that, oh, look, Mom, the sunrise. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry again.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a really beautiful like statement and really beautiful section of the movie, because it helps you take a step back. Like, it's a very like thoughtful piece in the middle of a zombie genre movie.
yeah, with a lot of horrible things happening. Like, it's just horrible things happening the whole time, and
Yeah.
you get that one laugh, and then you get to this part, and it's just, and Jodie Comer was like, I already knew it was cancer, and like, when I say things that don't make sense, I know they don't make sense. Like, and hearing that like explanation of her being like, I'm gonna be okay, so like, that is like, I mean, everyone knows my dad died of cancer.
Right.
Like, this is obviously very, like, that's why I was crying during this. But like, it's the way that she was acting. I mean, my dad was a lot less coherent, but this is what it's like when cancer spreads to your brain. Like, that is what happens. That is exactly like my dad was confusing everything for everyone, and he thought like he was petting a dog and there was no dog there. Like, it is like, you get to that point where they don't know what's going on, and she was still coherent, and by the time my dad died, he was not at all. He was just confused. But like, this was what I went through, like, without the zombies. And like, and so it was really, I mean, that probably is why I love this movie so much. Like, one of the reasons why I loved it so much, because I was like, this was a really great way to,
No, yeah, I was thinking
grieve and
about it. I'm
stuff.
like, this is gonna hit Sydney hard. Like,
Really?
this is,
That's why I was bawling.
yeah. But yeah, it's beautiful. So like the Memento Mori, I don't think we said for the dumb people out there.
Remember, you must die.
It's remember you must die.
And then
in
Memento
Latin.
Amori, which is remember you must love. When they said that, I was like, fine.
Yeah, and Ray Fiennes was perfectly cast for this, because he's able to take kind of this absurd situation and bring a lot of humanity to it, and like a lot of compassion and empathy in the moment that needs it. But yeah, I mean, it made me step back, and I'm like, that is kind of what horror movies are, is a memento mori. It's to like make you confront the horrible, and death, and the the abyss, and from a safe spot, that you can consider your life against it. And so, yeah, and it's a surprisingly philosophical take. I'm sure it's not the first time that it's really been mentioned in a horror movie or a zombie movie, but I can't think of one that took a moment to be this philosophical about life and death. It's usually pretty surface level.
Yeah. And like, just having this whole shrine for the dead, like this whole altar kind of like funeral like thing, like that doesn't happen. Like this is not something that happens in horror movies. Like, this is like, you usually just see people die, and that's your reminder, that's your memento mori. But this is really like, he's honoring like these lost lives, and I think it's really beautiful. Like, he is perfectly cast. He's such a great character. He makes this movie. Like, like, everyone is on their fucking A game, but like, he makes this movie. And like, yeah. And after this, I mean, the movie's basically over. Then we kind of get into the epilogue.
Spike returns to the island to basically just drop off the baby. And
how did they not catch him running down the causeway though? Like, that whole, there's a guy that watches the whole time.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's a
Suspension of
couple
disbelief.
little, well, I mean, I guess we're shown a couple times that the guy on the parapet is asleep. They kind of sleep on the watch sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess you really only need to keep watch while the tide is low. Like, it seems a little excessive to have that watchtower.
Yeah, it's not like
during
someone's
high
going
tide.
to swim. You can't.
Yeah.
It's way too far.
But yeah, Spike just drops off the baby in a note saying he's going to go out and, explore. I think it would be, I think probably the more interesting thing would have been if he tried to come back and the village is like, bro, you burned all of our supplies. No, you can't come back to our village. Fuck you. Like, you're on your own now, Spike.
They wouldn't
Which
do that, though. That's like the rule is that if they do come back, they have to let them back in if they're not like infected. But
yeah, but if you burn the entire, like the way he got off the island was burning all of their limited supplies that help them survive and stay alive.
yeah, what
Like,
are they going to, is he fucking them over? Like, but he's not. I don't know. He just needed a distraction to get across the thing. But
I mean, unless he unpacked that entire shed and like put stuff neatly stacked and far away from it, like he fucked them in some way. Yeah. They're like, oh shit.
He just took what he needed and said, fuck you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, and then he goes out and then he's on his own.
And then it says 28 days later.
Yeah. He's cooking his giant fish. And then he gets attacked by zombies.
The zombies eat the fish. He didn't even take it with him. Fuck.
Yeah.
Zombies eat the cooked fish. That was so funny to me. I was like, all right. But then we already talked about the ending. So then he encounters
he gets saved by Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. And it's hilarious. And it works. And it works because you're crying so hard at this point. And then you're like, okay, all right, I've calmed down. And then you see this and it's just I just love horror movies that make you feel all different types of emotions. Like there are some horror movies where you watch them and like stupid slashers and you laugh the whole time and that's one stagnant emotion. And then it's like there's some horror movies where you just feel like shit the whole time and that's one stagnant emotion. But this one, you feel all different things, and that's what makes it perfect to me.
Yeah, it's a very, very traditional story. Like it's a very good story. Like this is a coming of age, hero's journey, kid leaves, gets changed, comes back and realizes that he's never going to feel like he belongs in his former life and goes off and sits on his own.
Can't wait to see what he's up to in the next one.
Yeah, so they're planning a trilogy, with this as the jumping off point, and they are planning on having Cillian Murphy back in the movies.
Yeah, he didn't die in the first one. He wasn't in the second, right?
No, he wasn't in the second.
Yeah.
People thought that scrawny zombie was Cillian Murphy, which is kind of hilarious.
Which is
like,
so
oh, that's a scrawny,
up.
Emaciated zombie. That must be Cillian Murphy's character.
So imagine how he felt.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, everyone go see this in theaters so we can get those sequels. And we can get that third one greenlit. I'm excited for them. I'm probably going to see this again this week just because it was great. It was really good. Do you want to get into game now?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let me. All right, can you see that?
Category is zombie that walk.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you like a few second clip of some zombies, and you're going to tell me what TV show or movie they are from.
Okay.
And I think the TV show is probably going to be easy because there's like one TV show about zombies. Well, there's not one, but all right. Ready?
Ready. The Walking Dead.
Yes. Oh, why is that? Yes, you were right. That was The Walking Dead. I thought that was going to be the easiest one, so I did it first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 2.
This is DayZ.
DayZ. I've never heard of that. I think you know what it is, but you're getting the name wrong.
Oh, World War Z?
Yes.
Oh, Daisy is a
What is
video
Daisy?
game.
Oh, no, yeah, there's no video games, but yeah, this is Brad Pitt's World War Z.
Okay.
Good job. All right. There's only 5, so 3 more.
Oh, this is 28 weeks later.
When you said you watched it yesterday, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yes, this is 28 weeks later. All right, 2 more. Wow, you're good at this. You're good at this.
Train to Busan?
Yeah.
Can tell because there's a train in it.
Yeah, I tried to get one that I was like, oh, this could be anything. But like, if I did it actually on the train or in the train station with the Korean words, it would have been that way. All right. Well, you have 1 more.
Oh,
Play it again.
That's the end of Dawn of the Dead?
Fuck, dude, you're good.
I think that's the remake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did it. That was it. That's all I had.
5 out of 5. See.
5 out of 5. You know your zombies.
Now all you fuckers that were criticizing me for not seeing every Final Destination movies can get fucked.
Were people
5 out of 5.
criticizing you?
Yeah. Yeah, someone on Spotify was like, you're a horror movie podcaster and you haven't seen every Final Destination movie?
Oh my God. There's like, it's once you see one of them, you understand what they're about. Like, I feel like, I don't know, right?
Like, is it like the
Wait, I'm going to look at that
requirement to have on your CV as a horror fan that you need to see every single entry in a franchise for every major horror franchise?
I haven't seen every single Nightmare on Elm Street. I haven't seen every single Friday the 13th. Once
we
you
got
fucking
shit to do.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to just watch Nightmare on Elm Street 7? Like, right now? Like, goddamn. I want to see other stuff.
Yeah.
You can only watch so much.
I'd rather watch Wolfman.
Yeah. All right, well, that was our episode on 28 Years Later. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you want to listen to the after pod, go to our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk, where we just keep the mics running and talk about our lives. So go there. And also our voicemail line is 682-253-4468. So call in and leave us a voicemail. We want more. We want to hear from you guys. Rate, review, subscribe. We love you. Bye.
Bye.